Hey everybody, welcome back. It's your boy, Naked Rider Joe. Thank you guys for joining me on this rainy edition of my afternoon commute. This is first time ever that I'm going home in the rain, and I'll talk to you guys about some of my experiences and how things went. Just to do a quick recap for those, I am a daily rider for my motorcycle. I commute to work every single day. It's about a 30-minute ride to work where I go to work, and I go on a highway. I go up a hill, kind of like the one I'm going down now, and I do all kind of stuff. Is what I do in order to get to work. It's about 30 minutes both ways. But I am riding a Suzuki GSX-8S. It's 2024, a really great motorcycle. And with me, I used to ride all the time till about 12 years ago when my daughter was born. I stopped riding, sold my motorcycles, gave everything up, and only later on when I took this job that I'm currently at, I decided that, hey, I would rather ride a motorcycle to work rather than try to commute or take public transportation, because there's really is no place to park. But if you ride a motorcycle, you can park year round. There's plenty of parking. So I've been riding now for about 2 months, and this is the first time that I'm riding out in the rain. And there's a lot of different fails you're going to see on this video. Lots of fails, and we've got. Look at that. We're about a minute and 36 seconds in, and we got to the first fail. I try to record whenever I can, as far as like myself and doing a video log, or what do you call those things? Whenever I'm riding, I'm still working really hard to get the audio quality. I'm trying all different types of programs and different types of headsets. But if you see me keep looking at my phone, that's because the actual wire came out. And at first it got tangled around me when the wire came out. I had a wire connected to my phone, I was doing some recording, and it came out. So I'm trying to figure out how I can get it back in, trying to hustle there. And at the same time, I'm sitting at the light. I do have my GPS on because normally at the end of the day, it's my afternoon commute. I'll be going home, but I do a volunteer work once a month, and that's where I'm headed off to. So I haven't ridden there directly from work before. So for this time, I decided that, hey, I'm gonna ride directly from work. That's the only way I can get there in time. So I'm trying to see if I can go there, and I'm just gonna go right from work there, and that's why the GPS on. So I know how to get home, guys. Don't worry about me. But you can see I put the bike in neutral. I'm desperately trying to put that back in. Obviously, this is a first fail, because I was unsuccessful both with it knocking out so quickly into the ride, also with it actually just not being able to put it back in. And I don't know what I did with it, actually. I think I just stuffed it in my pocket. And I was like, man, I got to get going on there. And there I am. So I've been riding, like I mentioned, for about a couple months now. And this is the first time that I've ridden in rain. I've never ridden a motorcycle in rain. Even back in the day, I was always riding in really good weather. I lived in Michigan, and I would only ride just during the really warm summers, springs, that type of thing on there. When it got colder, it started getting rainy, I was like, no, put the bike away. I used to live in Texas, and in Texas you can ride almost year round. It gets really hot, but the rain comes, but it dies down after a while. So this is the first time I'm riding in rain. I do have some rain gear on. I got my jacket because I knew it was going to rain. I would check the weather app before I leave. I got my waterproof jacket on. I got my helmet with the vents are closed, and the waterproof jacket worked really well. No water came in, obviously, and I was 100%. Now, the other stuff I had on my gear was a total fail. It's what it was, man. I totally got fucked up. And this is just something, again, it's just part of being a new rider. And, you really got to check your equipment before you have to really use it. And that includes making sure the gear you get is waterproof. I bought these boots that I have on right now while I'm riding this bike. And one is they don't really fit that well. They're kind of that boots that are kind of looser around the ankles. They go up a little bit past your ankles and they're loose. And as a result, it makes a big gap. Look at me, still trying to go back there, man. You got to let it die. I'm like, no, I want to record this. I want to talk to you guys. I'm going to tell you guys how I'm feeling right now as I'm riding out in the rain. But yeah, look at me struggle. This is not good, man. Don't ever do this, by the way. You should pull over and then try to put that stuff in. I mean, if you're an experienced rider, yeah, go ahead and do your thing. You know, you've done this 100 times. You can do this thing while you're doing wheelies. But if you're a newbie rider, you've been riding for about 2 months, bro, don't be out there. Look at me. Stalled out. Stalled out. But your board recovered pretty quick. I'm like, hey, man. So, you know, one thing to note is even though I've been riding for a long time, back in the day, because there's been such a big, long gap, there's a lot of things that I got to learn, a lot of things that do not come naturally still, where I got to focus on and I got to pay attention, and I really got to watch what I'm doing. So it's a bit of peace as far as making sure that I'm keeping myself safe, I'm doing the right thing. I'm not out here trying to hot dog or you won't see me doing wheelies or anything from that standpoint, or trying to speed around or run from the cops or some shit, crazy stuff like that. I'm still in that, you know, newbie rider phase. My bike is broken in. It's well past the 600-mile mark. But I try to take it easy. I really do when I'm out there on the streets. And I try to be safe is what I try to do. But when I mentioned about fail, so my boots, not only are they not really fitting that well, they're really loose around the ankles, which causes, and I don't know if you guys have seen this bike, hopefully you have in some of my other vehicles, but you're sitting on the bike and your feet are in that sport rider phase. So if your feet are in that like sport rider like form and you got your toes and you're trying to get underneath there, it makes it really difficult if your boots are loose around the ankle. Your boots need to be tight on you in order, if you got boots on, in order for you really to be able to ride the bike the way it needs to be. Because it's almost like I move my feet in order to go pull up or get in the first gear or second gear, and I'm having all kind of problems is what's happening on there, just because it's so loose around the ankles. So it's something that I'm struggling with is what it is. By the way, so I get the cord back in, just to let you know about some fails that unfortunately I got the cord in, but what's going on is that I'm still not able to turn back on the app, because you got to turn on the app again to start recording. So yeah, it just fails and fails and fails. It's really what we're looking at. But the second thing that, so my boots, not only that, they're not really truly waterproof. There's a part of it, and I don't know why, I bought the boots, they were pretty expensive. They were like 150 bucks. And I've taken them back already. I only wore them just this one day, and that was enough for me. But I bought the boots, and the problem was in the back they had these things, and I thought it was just for decorations to look cool, but it turned out those are vents. That's what they were. So my waterproof boots, they got vents in the back, and as a result, man, I'm getting all kind of water that's getting in the back there, just splashing around. Is what's happening. It's coming off the ground. The other thing as far as equipment fail is that you're really looking at, as far as my jacket's fine, my helmet's fine, but the mask. I usually put on some RainX on the outside, and I'll put some anti-fog white I'll use on the inside. And the RainX is for plastic, supposed to beat off the water and get it off my face mask. And that thing wasn't working at all. I guess it's one of those things where you apply it, but you have to reapply it occasionally. I guess it wears down. And that's something I didn't really think about or really conceive when I got out to ride this morning. I should have reapplied it that morning, but I didn't. And as a result, as you can, you can't really see it, but I'm having all kind of problems as far as with the water beating up. It is beating up really bad on my face mask, and so the windshield the plastic for my motorcycle helmet is full of like water, and it's not beating off and falling off like you would in a regular RainX situation. And it's something that's causing me like to squint my eyes. I gotta look around, gotta close one eye to go look around things. And in addition, I didn't put the anti-fog white. I didn't use that in a while either. And as a result, what's happening is that my mask is fogging up. So you just think about this for a second. Right now, I'm a newbie rider. I got wet boots. My mask is fogging up. from the inside. The outside has got RainX that's like, not RainX, but it just doesn't have any RainX. It's a problem. And the water's not beating up. And it's not just wiping off off the mask automatically. So I'm kind of in a struggle motion over here. So luckily for me, I did do the right things as far as trying to take it easy, get into this lane, and really just watch out for myself when I'm riding along, because I can barely see. I don't know where I'm going, which is kind of another fail too. There's one thing, I've been in this place many times. I don't volunteer work with them all the time, and it's all good. But for me to try to get there from work, that was a whole nother scenario. So I'm having to look down at the GPS to make sure I'm going the right way. The other fail, as far as equipment fail, is going to be my pants. So I've been using these pants that are my snowboarder pants, and I really thought they were waterproof and everything, because it just seems as though it's waterproof material. I've worn them before to snowboard all the time, had a great time. They got lots of insulation on them, and I was like, man, I just keep wearing these things. Turns out, no, they are snowproof, but not motherfucking waterproof. So my pants are getting wet, so that's another fail. In addition, my backpack that I have on, I specifically went out and bought a waterproof backpack. But I guess, like in the motorcycle world, you gotta watch this thing, because there's some things that are like, they say waterproof, but it's actually just more like splash resistant. And you'll see this a lot with shoes, and I'll try to see if I can get a picture of it so I can show you guys what I mean. But basically, it can resist as far as being splashed, but if you're going out in the rain, it's not rainproof, where the water is just gonna keep coming down, and it's gonna get in all the different crevices. So I'm riding along, not really 100% sure about the route that I'm going in order to get there, not till I get to this one town. But you'll see that when I'm riding around, eventually I know where I'm at, and I'm like, all right, I know how to get there from the rest. But I'm riding around, I got my mask is fogging up, the water is not beating off, my backpack is getting wet, I got my laptop computer in there, I got my ID, I got all kind of stuff inside there with papers from work, and everything just getting wet inside, which is really unfortunate. Thank God it didn't get damaged, nothing got damaged, so that's really nice. But my stuff did get wet inside, all the stuff that's inside is wet. And my pants are wet, and my outer pants are wet, and my shoes are wet. and I'm a newbie rider, so it's just a recipe for disaster is what you're getting at. But this is, so I'm going down a path, doing what I can in order to really be safe. I probably should pull over and, get myself nice and situated, but I'm not. Just so that you guys know, so I think I mentioned this before, but I live in Oregon, is where I live at, and rain in Oregon is different than in other parts, where you guys get rain, it'll be hard, it'll hit hard, maybe you got some thunder and lightning, the way rain may come sideways like it does in Florida or in Texas. But up here in Oregon, the rain's this real light rain. It's a real misty rain, and you can kind of see it. It's coming down, but that's what the rain's like. During the summertime, it's there's hardly any rain. It's only just lots of sun. But during the winter time is when you start to get rain. It doesn't get really cold up here. Cold is like the 40s. So, it's not that bad at all. And I got gear, and I've been out in the 40s already, but it's totally fine. The rain isn't heavy or anything like that, so that one's pretty well taken care of. But it's a constant rain, so it'll just kind of keep raining and raining like this all the time, that really light rain. And you can see some of the people out here, they're walking around and everything. They're just like, whatever. No one's got umbrellas on. They may wear a rain jacket just because it is such a light rain that you can make through it pretty fast on there, and you'd be just fine. Now, while I'm riding around, just so that you guys know, so there's this one thing that I have also too, which is, it's kind of weird. Having never ridden before in the rain, I didn't really prepare for it, try to study up and say, hey, what it's like to ride in the rain. All of a sudden, when I was riding a bike, I started getting this weird fear that I'd be going around a corner and at a speed, and the bike would just slip underneath me and fall. And I just fall to the ground. Not because I'm doing anything dangerous and like that, but it's just more about hey, I'm just taking a corner, and the bike is just gonna slip and fall, and I'll bust my ass all over the street and bust my bike up. I don't know where that came from, as far as like that fear, but I started getting that fear while I was on the bike. The one thing I did do, which was the right thing to do, is I turned down the settings. Usually I like the bike now at the position of 1A, which is 1 is for traction control. That's where you have traction control on, but it's only at level 1 is all it is. It goes up to 3 levels. It goes off, level 1, level 2, level 3. So I guess there's 4 levels total. So level 1 is like traction control from that response. So it'll be on, so you can feel the bike jerk around, but you can't do wheelies. That's not possible with it being at number 1. It'll stop that, so that if you're about to do a wheelie, it'll start to cut off the power, but you can still feel the bike jerk around. Well, I turned that up. I think I can't remember. I gotta look and see what I put it at. Much higher. Same thing with the throttle response. Throttle response, they can go A, B, and C. A is like really aggressive, is what that is. B is the more mild, more street. So yeah, I put traction control at 2, and I put throttle response at B. So that way it's a little bit more calm when I'm out there on the bike. And again, it's just more about that fear of like, hey, I'm gonna be going around a corner and the bike is just gonna slip underneath me and I'm just gonna fall down and just bust my ass. So I don't know. I still gotta look that up as far as physics go and if that's actually possible, but probably not. Just a fear I have after never having ridden in the rain, and at the same time just really didn't study up as far as like, hey, what I gotta watch out for in riding in the rain. You see bros over there, they got a problem, they got an accident in the rain. Man, it just it's one of those things where, and it usually happens on the first rain. When the first rain starts hit, that's when people start freaking out. They're not really sure what to do. It's like, oh my God, it's never rained in Oregon before. But you give it a couple weeks, and then people be like, all right, they'll be cool and they'll be fine and everything. Which is what you want, is have nice, calm drivers when you're out there inside the rain. I didn't see any other motorcyclists out there. I think I was the only guy out there. But I would say, I wish I could say like, oh, it felt great and it was this really awesome experience. But because I was wet in my ass, in my feet, it wasn't that great of an experience. All right, so we're coming down. This is my turn that I gotta take. This is the first turn I'm taking in the rain. It's about 30 miles an hour. I did slow down, checking my spots, and you can see I just keep sliding over and sliding over. Oh my goodness, I made it, man. It's my worst fear right there is to be inside the rain, taking a turn, and just a fear I developed while I was on the bike and everything. I don't know where that came from, but I was like, just started thinking about like, oh my God. And afterwards, I took that turn. I was like, damn, I did it, man. I'm good. I can do this, man. Watch out. What's that guy's name? Marquez or Martez or something like that. You better watch out, man. Make It Rider Joe is going to be coming for you soon. I'm going to speed this up. I do make it to my destination. I'm going to speed it up to show you guys the next day because it was even more rain and I had to go on the highway for the first time the next day. All right, guys, this is the next day. I'm on my way to work. This time I did hit up as far as with plenty of RainX on the front. I did come through and also I put on the anti-fog so I can see a little bit better. Fortunately, my pants are still wet. As far as with the waterproof pants I got, I did dry them out the right way. Should have put them inside out, fucked up. I do get some new waterproof pants, but they were coming on Saturday. So I was going to have to go right back out there with the snowboarding pants and try to get out there and get things happening. But this time, unfortunately, let's say it in, I was able to do some recording, but again, I'm still working on the audio part. So it doesn't come out that good, so I won't put out the audio. As you can see, I'm out here riding, man. Your boy is riding in the rain. No problems, no issues right now. Keeping up with traffic and just following along. It's the next morning, my morning commute. This is the highway portion of it. You see it's still raining, still that light rain that comes down, that you got to watch out for on there. There's a lot more congestion that happens in the morning, but it's fine. Whatever reason, people slow down in the rain. It's taking a while to get used to it and everything, but I was feeling much better about going out there. I did bring a change of pants. So of course, I still got the waterproof No, I shouldn't say waterproof. I got my, let me say, I got my waterproof jacket on. I got my waterproof gloves. Those are fine. I also got the snowboarding pants. I have those on. They're kind of somewhat wet, somewhat dry, not all the way. So I just brought on another pair of pants. I put them inside a trash bag. Is what I did. So when I get to work, I'll just go to the bathroom, change. I got my motorcycle boots on. This time they're not the waterproof motorcycle boots. I said, forget that. Always keep a pair of shoes, work shoes at work. And I got a pair of socks that's also inside my bag. So when I get to work, I'll just change. In that bag is also a top, is what it is. So I got my laptop in my bag also, and it's still that not quite waterproof bag. So things are getting wet, but luckily with the trash bag, everything stays dry inside there. And everything worked, by the way. Computer was fine, all that kind of stuff's fine. So it was just a matter of just letting it dry off, and everything worked just fine. But a couple things, just reminders that make sure, as far as guys, that you're more like me, you're a morning riding commuter, you commute every day, you're going to go out there riding at all times. Make sure that you're, putting on your anti-fog or your anti-fogging up material onto your face mask, so that way it doesn't fog up. Also, make sure that you're putting on some RainX. You may have to reapply it to your outer mask, so make sure you're doing that. You're better off checking your gear, man. Take your gear, check it out, go out to your backyard, use a hose and hose down whatever gear you think is actually waterproof, just to make sure, because some things they say is waterproof, but in the motorcycle world that can mean anything. Like I mentioned, like as far as my bag, my shoes, there was all supposed to be waterproof, but they're not true waterproof items. So just take a few moments and water those things down. As far as the fear of tipping over, I didn't feel that way the next day. I was all fine. I think that was just being out there on the first time, riding on a motorcycle in the water for the first time. I think that's what it was more than anything. I was just like a little bit nervous about that whole situation. Plus I couldn't see. Plus, which is pretty important on a motorcycle, making sure you're able to see. And at the same time, man, I was all wet and stuff. So I think that's where that fear came through. It was like, man, I came out here and I'm not really prepared, and shit's all fucked up, and I'm really in a bad shape. I may slip out here and fall and bust my ass on my motorcycle. And I think that's really where that fear came from. Because the next day I was totally fine, didn't feel that at all, just out there riding, right along with traffic, saying what's up to all my peoples, just going to work on time every single day. Again, I was the only motorcycle I saw out there, but I was still just having a blast. And I tell you guys, it's just really awesome riding my motorcycle to work. I really do enjoy it. It is so much fun. And what's pretty cool is I get to ride year-round here in Oregon. This is as bad as rain gets. It may get a couple days in the 30s at the most, and we may get a couple snow days. But usually when snow comes, they shut everything down up in the Portland area. Now, if you live there's another part, eastern Oregon, out in Bend and everything, when snow comes, you're fucked, because that snow is going to come down and they get dumped on. But up here, we'll get it maybe 1 or twice a year, and the whole place shuts down, everybody freaks out, and you can't go anywhere, work is all shut off, all that kind of stuff.
No problems, no issues.
But hey, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys sticking with me, and you guys have a great time. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.